Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my top white floral fragrances for springtime. And this is going to be kicking off like my floral series that I'm doing, where I'm going to be going over single note florals, like my top tuberose fragrances, my top jasmine, and then I'll probably mix the other florals like Lily of the Valley and Orange Blossom, because I have less of those fragrances in one last video. But this video is going to be kicking it off, and these are my top white floral, meaning I don't really get a specific flower. Like, these are very blended, and it's more about that white floral accord. I definitely have other fragrances in my collection that have white floral notes, but to me maybe they're more of a fruity perfume, maybe like a beachy or citrus heavy perfume. They don't have a standout floral note that I get a lot. I just want to mention that because there's a lot more perfumes that of course have that kind of white floral. These, in my opinion, that accord does stand out, and I've used it to describe these perfumes like that in the past. So we have about 10 to go over, and then I'll be going over my scent of the day, which isn't necessarily like that white floral. But let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, first we're gonna go over the new Jean Paul Gaultier Labelle Fleur Terrible. Now this is my scent of the day, and this isn't, I would say, an overly white floral scent, but since I don't have a lot of fragrances with water lily, I did want to go ahead and feature it. Now I would say that this is probably more of a floral scent, not necessarily like a white floral, but I do get that watery, dewy water lily scent with a little bit of a powdery iris in the background. I do believe there are other notes they're not giving us in this fragrance, but unfortunately I haven't been able to find it as of yet, but I'm still looking because I want to go over this fragrance like maybe in my summer lineup. So again, that is a Jean Paul Gaultier Labelle Fleur Terrible. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my transitioning from winter spring to maybe spring summer. So first up, we're gonna go over Narciso Rodriguez For Her, the Eau de Toilette. And this line, the Narciso Rodriguez, they're known for their musk, but I do find this one to have a very strong white floral accord. Pure Musk is another one that's very floral, but that one's a little bit more vintage, whereas this one to me is more of like the kind of white floral clean musk scent. Now I will say on paper I do get more white florals, and I know Dennis does as well, but whenever I wear this on my skin, this becomes more of a clean kind of musky scent. This one has African orange flower. That is the white floral that they have listed. So again, that's Narciso Rodriguez For Her, and this is the Eau de Toilette. Okay, then next we have Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. Now this one has a lot of floral notes. This one has black orchid, orchid, jasmine, heliotrope, hyacinth, rose oil, narcissus, magnolia, orange blossom. Even though this has florals in general, this to me, I do get a lot of kind of your white florals. This can be a little heady. This, I will say, out of all the ones I'm going to talk about, it can be a little heavy, which is why I do reserve this one more for winter and then transitioning into spring. I find this one to be very sexy. This has rum, this has suede, this has a lot of notes, but it's very beautifully blended. But this is definitely a floral scent with that kind of white floral accord. This is one they don't list white floral, but to my nose I do get a heavy bouquet of flowers, and then I do get that indolic jasmine, and then that orange blossom, and I would say it's got a little bit of a modern twist with kind of that boozy rum opening. There's honey in this one. So definitely one that I reserve more winter, transitioning into spring. So again, that is Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid. So next we have a Flower Bomb by Viktor Rolf. And now we're getting into kind of sweeter florals. The next ones I'm going to talk about, they're either kind of sweet or fruity. They have a little bit more going on to them, but again, you still kind of get that white floral accord. This one, I've always said isn't overly floral to my nose, and it isn't, but there is kind of something flowery about this one, hence the name. And while I don't get it, like this scent doesn't come off overly floral to my nose, the floral notes in here do ground this one, because I find this to be a very vanilla kind of gourmand scent. Like the vanilla in here comes off kind of cakey, which usually makes me nauseous, but I think it's the patchouli and the florals in here that kind of ground this perfume and make it real sexy and kind of date night. This is one that I do pull out pretty much year round, but I think because of those white florals that are in here, this is a nice one for spring. So the flowers that are listed in this one, again, very blended: osmanthus, orchid, jasmine, rose, freesia, and African orange flower. But nothing stands out in this one to me. All right, another sweet one, but this is more fruity. This is Kayali's Deja Vu White Flower 57. And like the name would imply, this is a very white floral fruity kind of fragrance. This has pear and nectarine in it. Oh my goodness. White florals is something that can come off a little vintage, but most of these have something else in them that kind of keep it interesting. For me, it's the fruits that are in here. This one, I would say, doesn't smell like Labelle, but it kind of reminds me of Labelle with the pear. I would just say that this one's more white floral and Labelle's more like vetiver and woody, in my opinion. This one, you definitely get the white florals. It kind of opens up a little indolic, but then that goes away, and then it just becomes this really pretty, sweet, floral, fruity scent. This one has kind of a blend of white florals. This one has jasmine, it has gardenia, tuberose, orange blossom. So yeah, this is a blend of several white florals, and I don't really get any one in particular. So again, that is Kayali's Deja Vu White Flower 57. Okay, and then last for kind of like my sweet white floral, this is Reckless by YSL Parfums. This is kind of a vanilla sweet white floral. I think the two that are in here are Neroli and Jasmine, but they're both blended very well. Like, I get Orange Blossom in Parfum de Marly's Oriana, and I get it in Love Don't Be Shy, and here they list Neroli, but it's blended in a way that's not obnoxious or too much, because Neroli and Orange Blossom can be a little bothersome for me in like the high heat. This scent, along with the Raja line, the three I'm going to talk about, to me it's more about the accords. Like this opens up just kind of a bright, kind of fruity opening, and then the white flowers come in along with other flowers. I'm sure there's other flowers listed. Yeah, there's rose and geranium, and then you get the vanilla in the base. There's also cinnamon and benzoin, sandalwood. There is something kind of creamy about this one in the base, but I don't pick up a lot of the notes. I do pick up a sweetness from the vanilla, but this is a very sweet kind of white floral fragrance. Very, very beautifully blended, and I would say out of the three that to me kind of fall in this scent family, Oriana by Parfum de Marly, Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian, The Extreme, and this one's my favorite. It's light, a little bit more sweet and airy, and just a little bit more blended, and the florals in here don't bother me like they do and then those other two fragrances. So again, that is Reckless by YSL Parfums, and this is from the Essence line. Okay, next we're gonna go into more of your classy white floral fragrances. So these don't smell the same, but they all kind of give me that same kind of classy working girl kind of scent to them. So keeping in line with Raja, because I have a couple. When it comes to YSL Parfums, not only do I find them blended very beautifully, I find them more on the floral side. So I have tried a lot from this house, and these are all very floral dominant kind of scents. So the next one we have is Raja Parfums 51, and this one gives me kind of like Upper East Side, Manhattan, kind of New York vibes. Very classy. Definitely get the white florals in here. I believe there's ylang in this one, so there is something a little warm, kind of your yellow floral in this one. I don't get any specific floral. This is just a classy kind of white floral scent. There's something fruity in the opening, and then that kind of goes away, and this is just a very feminine, pretty white floral kind of fragrance. So this one has gardenia, tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, and lily of the valley. Yeah, I don't really get, this is just a blend of white florals. There's also other florals in here. There's rose, and again there's that ylang. And then the brightness, kind of citrus burst that I'm getting is that bergamot. Now this next one, they don't list like a white floral accord, kind of like Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid, but this is another one. This is Raja Parfums Creation, where it's not only a floral fragrance, but it's kind of a yellow floral, white floral to my nose. So this one, I don't know if it's the jasmine that's in here, but yeah, I get the white floral more in the opening, and then in the dry down this does get more kind of yellow, kind of that warm yellow floral feeling. So there's jasmine and neroli in this one, and then this one has peach. This to me is more of a classy Southern Belle. So if I had to pair it, because you guys know I like to pair, this to me reminds me of a classy New Yorker, expensive kind of woman. And then this to me is a classy Southern Belle. Like think of Heart of Dixie. So Heart of Dixie, you got Zoe Hart. She's kind of your city girl. Then you have Lemon from Heart of Dixie. She probably has on Creation. If I had to pair these up with characters from a show, that's what I would pair it up with. You got the city girl, and you have the Southern Belle. So those are the Raja Parfums. This one's definitely more white floral, I would say. Whereas this one, you're probably going to see it in my yellow floral for summer, because this one, I do get a little bit of both in this one. And again, that is Raja Parfums Creation E. Another kind of classy scent, we have Gabrielle Essence by Chanel. This one is kind of like Kayali's Deja Vu White Floral. It's kind of a floral, fruity scent. Like this opens up with like a citrus. I think that, I don't know if it's peach, and I know that there's red berries in here, but it's very light and airy. So this isn't as heavy as Deja Vu White Flower, even though that one I wouldn't say is overly heavy. This one has citruses, peach, red fruits, and black currant, but it's very light. And then this one has white flowers, tuberose, ylang, jasmine, and orange blossom, but again, it's more about the accord. This is another one that's blended very, very well. The accords on this one are white floral, citrus, and fruity, you know, like at the top. And I would have to agree. This isn't overly, like there are fragrances where they're very tuberose heavy. I wouldn't say this one is very tuberose heavy, maybe a little bit more so in the dry down. This to me is a little bit more about the white floral accord in the opening. But I feel like, yeah, see, I get the tuberose more so on the card, but I know when I wear this one, it's very light and airy, and it doesn't come off overly tuberose like some of my other scents. Another classy, signature scent worthy kind of scent, and again, that's Gabrielle Essence by Chanel. All right, and then last in my kind of classy white floral, before we get into my transitioning into summer, we have YSL's Leap Eau de Parfum. And this is just a limited edition bottle. This one features orange blossom and jasmine. You know, orange blossom is a note that can bother me in summer. In here, it is blended to perfection. I do not get an overly orange blossom note in this one. For me, there's a nice balance between the orange blossom and the jasmine. And this like opens up with kind of a citrus burst in the opening. And then it dries down to a clean lavender white floral scent with kind of that vanilla base. Has like a sweetness from the vanilla. And as this one sits, it does get a little bit more vanilla the longer it sits. I will say that the lavender in here does give this one kind of a boss lady kind of vibe to it, masculine edge. But I don't find this one to be unisex. It just gives you kind of that boss lady kind of masculine edge to it. Like I've paired this one with Samantha from Sex and the City. She's very feminine, but she's got that kind of masculine edge to her. That's why I find this fragrance to really embody that character. This is a modern take on a white floral, kind of like Tom Ford's Velvet Orchid, but I find this one to be even more modern. I can see where some people find Velvet Orchid to be a little vintage. What makes it modern to me is kind of the boozy rum, but this is a modern take on your kind of old school white floral scent. And again, that's YSL's Leap by Yves Saint Laurent. All right, and then last we have a fragrance that to me, this range is definitely more of a summer range, but I feel like they have one scent that is really pretty from spring transitioning into summer, and then one summer transitioning into fall. And I'm gonna go over this range in more detail during summer, but that is Light the Gioia by Giorgio Armani. I would say out of the whole range, because I do have all of them, this one is the most spring. Yeah, it's the gardenia and the jasmine in here. This is a very clean white floral kind of scent, and it's another one kind of like Leap. The two floral notes that are in here balance each other out very well, because gardenia can give me a headache, but in here with the jasmine, it just comes off very clean and just crisp. This is citrus, and again, just that it's a very clean, crisp white floral scent. I feel like the citrus and the freshness make it a great one, you know, spring transitioning into summer. This is one that I'm really gonna enjoy like in the month of June. It just gives me kind of like we're leaving spring behind and kind of going into, you know, those sunny beachy days. It is the most, to me, springtime. But again, that is Light the Gioia by Giorgio Armani. So that is my top white floral slash floral fragrances for spring. Let me know in the comments below, what are your top kind of floral scents for springtime? Or maybe you don't like floral scents. But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.